witnessing history tonight.
And so it begins.
After 4 days of defeats and deal-making, Republican Kevin McCarthy was elected to the job early this morning on the 15th try.
I never thought we'd get up here.
A bomb cyclone connected to a strong atmospheric river will wallop the West.
Nichols died 3 days after his confrontation with police on January 10th.
We're back with a grim update from Syria and Turkey. The death toll following last week's devastating earthquake has now surpassed 40,000.
About 8:54 p.m., 38 rail cars derail on Main Track 1 in East Palestine, Ohio.
He's an American citizen with 34 felony counts on him, and that's a heavy burden.
Fox has to pay Dominion Voting Systems $787 million for making false statements about the voting machine.
At least 4 members of the far-right organization, the Proud Boys, were found guilty of seditious conspiracy.
God save the king!
A New York City jury finding that former President Donald Trump sexually abused writer E. Jean Carroll, ordering him to pay her $5 million in damages.
News that we've been waiting on, and that is that George Santos is now in custody at federal court in Long Island.
Yeah, a 13-count indictment has been unsealed.
Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes has been sentenced to 18 years in prison.
In less than a week, 4 young people in this country have been shot, one killed after making one of the most common mistakes, being in the wrong place.
And yet another mass shooting, this time at a mall in Texas. Multiple people have been killed and injured.
So it's a horrible, horrible situation, and we're not going to fix it.
Wildfire smoke from Canada has billowed across the border, degrading air quality across the Northeast and upper Midwest.
Trump was expressionless, his hands folded, as his lawyer entered a plea of not guilty to all 37 charges.
Where are these whistleblowers?
Well, unfortunately, we can't track down the informant.
President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, has been charged with failing to pay federal income tax and for illegally possessing a weapon.
The U.S. Coast Guard now saying that an underwater vessel has located a debris field near the Titanic during the search for that missing submersible with 5 people on board.
We begin tonight with dangerous weather gripping the nation, from brutally hot temperatures to life-threatening flooding and even tornadoes.
The former president was in court for his arraignment yesterday. He faces 4 counts, including conspiracy to defraud the United States and conspiracy against the right to vote.
But first, we have an update on news out of Ohio, where the Associated Press is reporting voters overwhelmingly rejected the ballot proposal known as Issue 1.
Survivors of the Maui fires are returning home to the grim reality of a paradise reduced to ashes.
The former president arrested last night for his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. It is the 4th time this year that Mr. Trump has turned himself in to face criminal charges.
Tonight, in the dead heat of an emerging summer of strikes, UPS reaching a tentative agreement with its 340,000 worker-strong Teamsters union.
Senator Bob Menendez and his wife pleading not guilty today, accused of accepting hundreds of thousands of dollars of bribes.
I do not believe that the current evidence would support articles of impeachment.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant. Israel formally declaring war against Hamas Sunday and pounding Gaza with airstrikes after Hamas fighters breached the border one day prior in a surprise attack.
Ohio Representative Jim Jordan will not be the party's nominee moving forward, a decision made after Jordan lost a 3rd floor vote earlier today.
The U.S. House of Representatives has elected a new speaker. Republican Congressman Mike Johnson from Louisiana takes over the role.
Today, officials announced that the 18 victims who were killed in the shootings range in age from 14 to 76.
Ohio became the first state in the country to enshrine abortion access in a state constitution.
The NCAA says it's investigating the University of Michigan after Yahoo Sports reported the team allegedly sent people to the games of future opponents to gather signs used to call plays.
The first hostages to be released by Hamas in its temporary ceasefire with Israeli forces.
All right, breaking news. Republican Congressman George Santos from New York, I should say former congressman, kicked out of the U.S. House of Representatives.
31-year-old Kate Cox, who sued to get an emergency abortion because her fetus had developed a lethal condition and her health was at risk.
Rudy Giuliani, just moments ago, a jury in Washington, D.C., said the former Trump advisor must pay $148 million total.
And I don't like the term woke because I hear woke, woke, woke.
Our terrorist enemies hate homosexuals more than we do.
It's one of the scariest scenes we have ever seen in North American sports. A player down on the field, CPR being performed.
And the Kansas City Chiefs have won Super Bowl 57.
I'm retiring for good.
Hurley and the Huskies have their dream